Do you know how Abram became a millionaire? When he was asked, "How did you become a millionaire?" he said, "Oh, it was very simple. My father gave me some money. I went to a wholesale market, bought a crate of apples, went downtown, set up shop, multiplied the price. I paid by 5 and sold the apples. Then I went back to the market and bought 5 crates, went back downtown, sold them. Then I bought 25 crates, came back, sold those too." The reporter, thinking he'd figured out the logic, said, "So eventually you were buying entire rail cars and selling by the truckload?" And Abram replied, "No. Then my grandmother passed away and left me millions in her will." The point is, when you have a mindset rooted in creative and positive thinking, you create the conditions to become wealthy. You shape the environment through your inner state. If Abram had just sat still doing nothing, his grandmother wouldn't have picked up on his intention, broadcast through electromagnetic impulses, and wouldn't have left him the inheritance. So you need to realize, through your worldview, actions, and intentions, you form the chain of events that unfold in your life. When something happens to you and you think it's bad, what's really happening is the setup for something good in the future. If someone removes your old wardrobe and you think, "Now I'm left without one," but you choose to see it positively and accept the absence with a growth-oriented mindset, then a new and much better wardrobe will take its place. But if you respond with negativity and emotional resistance, you disconnect from the future, which is high frequency. So when you get angry, offended, nervous, and refuse to admit that you're angry, offended, or nervous, or to express your intention to shift toward the positive, then you create a reality where the old wardrobe is taken away, but the new one never arrives. That's why we're here, to create conditions for your inner apartment to be renewed, but at first, nearly everything will be cleared out. Your job is to learn to listen to yourself deeply so that at some point you'll be able to recognize, wait a minute, this isn't renovation. It's thieves taking everything I worked so hard to earn. And even when thieves do show up and take what you worked so hard for, it's because you've become stuck in a shell and your life's program is pushing you toward growth. But since you're resisting that path and not living in the present, many things simply don't happen. At that point, your inner software gives a signal to the subconscious, which negotiates with certain people, sends them invisible payments that make them want to come specifically to you and take precisely what's preventing your progress. Here's the next important thing to understand. Everything that happens in your life has been created personally by you, by your subconscious, based on your personal program, which is designed to bring you into being. And now comes a key insight. I once asked how I should work with people. The answer was, many people ask me, "Who are you asking?" And I say myself. Because if you're communicating with God, everything is basically fine. The most important thing is that he doesn't turn on the intercom and start talking back. Because if he suddenly does, you somehow end up in a special facility where they tie the sleeves of your shirt behind your back and start giving you meds. In other words, it turns out our connection with God should be one way. We speak toward it, but nothing should speak back. Because if you start hearing a voice answering you, it's time to see a therapist urgently and deal with that someone so they'll shut up. Because if your priorities are misaligned, that someone can lead you down a very strange path. I once told a friend of mine who had started doing rituals and meditations, "Stop all that. You don't have a firm, steady, grounded character. You may think you're being kind, but your kindness looks like weakness to others. And without solid values, you're too easily influenced, often by people who don't have your best interests at heart." The same thing happens when it comes to the energies and laws you start operating under. If you possess the inner power to truly change the world, but you lack an inner backbone, the conviction that you are the central authority in your life, and that you come before any external law or structure, that interacts with you, then you're setting yourself up for serious issues. Everything we do in this life isn't really dictated by us. It's dictated by our ancestors and our past incarnations. I've often noticed that my mother suddenly starts speaking through me when I'm talking to other people. And I feel a bit embarrassed for her, but I'm the one who has to deal with the consequences. So you interact with the world around you through your ancestors, whether distant or close, who show up and express the kind of energy they want to consume. We live in a probabilistic reality that interacts with both future and past probabilities. And the realities that affect us most are the ones that vibrate at the same frequency as our current mindset and emotional state. So if you want your life to go well, you need to recalibrate your thinking. You need to create a resonance that prevents spam and viruses, metaphorically speaking, from entering your system. That way, you can function normally without glitching from your ancestral baggage. Our ancestors have a strong influence on us, up to the 100th generation back. Today, we're all dependent on our future, and it's the future that shapes the events of our lives. Meanwhile, in the present moment, we juggle the past and the future. The past has to allow the future to enter, and the future aggressively pushes to make space for itself within us. Here's the dynamic. The future is always aggressive because it knows it's going to happen no matter what. The past, on the other hand, is sensitive and easily offended. It knows it failed to act in time and got left behind. And if you stay stuck in the past, you're basically giving it the chance to exact revenge. It may always lose the match, but it will try to win in its own way, by punishing you for not using it when it was still relevant. So all the problems we face in life are the result of the future barging in, insulting and beating up our past and sending it packing. And if you identify yourself with that past, then yes, you're the one who gets punched by the future. Understand this, every illness, every problem, every hardship, all of it comes from your future. That's the pattern we're living in. What we call bad is really just the good that wasn't realized in time. That good is still trying to manifest, and if you didn't let it, it's going to punish you for missing your chance. But the moment you start nurturing the past in a healthy way, letting it realize itself, and simultaneously begin embracing the future and giving it space to manifest, then karma disappears. You'll create the conditions for good things to come, not through hardship, but simply because there's space for them now. You see, your worldview is what limits or unlocks your readiness. And the more you align your worldview, the more your body, all the way down to the cellular level, gets ready to actually live out the experiences you're capable of receiving.